My beautiful people, welcome to the channel. Look, I'm not going to give you a long intro. Let's just get into it. Let's just get into it.
Conspiracy theories that will change your perspective on life. The last one is the most shocking. The Big Bounce theory. It states that if the Big Bang occurred from nothing, then there will be no changing fact the next time the universe is created. This means that when our universe ends and another is created, it will be created in the exact same way with the exact same galaxies, planets, and species. If this is true, our entire universe is in an endless cycle of creating and destroying itself, and you will be born into every universe endlessly. You can actually see who blocks you on TikTok. It's the first person that appears when you click share and more. The real reason Apple removed the headphone jack was to try to remove Square Pay systems as a competitor for Apple Pay. Ancestry DNA and the rest of those Ancestry websites are run by the government to have access to people's DNA across reference crimes, etc. The food we have been eating in the United States is a huge part of the mental illness going on today. Like and follow for more interesting yet mind-bending conspiracies.
It's not just the US, it's global.
Have you seen the theory about clocks?
No.
So when you look at a clock, it looks pretty normal. You never think anything of it. But what if I told you there's actually a really dark theory behind the idea of a clock?
What?
Right, and you go across the clock, across the way, you see like 11 and 1, it equals 12. 10 and 2 equals 12. 9 and 3 equals 12. 8 and 4 equals 12. 7 and 5 equals 12. And then 6 plus 6 equals 12. They all equal 12.
Wait, what does that mean though?
Well, also think about this. When you go diagonally and look at the numbers and you subtract it, like 12 minus 6 equals 6. 11 minus 5 equals 6. 10 minus 4 equals 6.
Wait, what is going on?
But wait, if you look at this a different way too, if you look across, 12 plus 1 equals 13. 11 and 2 equals 13. 10 and 3 equals 13. 9 and 4 equals 13. It all equals 13.
So what's the theory?
You look at all the numbers, right? It's just weird how you go different formulations and they all equal the same.
That's actually kind of scary.
I don't really want to get into like the exact thing that I saw, but it is weird how everything, equals the same. Comment if you guys know what that is.
Dude,
I don't
that
know.
was
I don't
weird.
want to say.
That like gave me chills just looking.
The Air Force is on record as saying, quote, they want to control the weather by 2025, and we are not talking about just seeding the clouds for rain. Weather modification means, quote, any activity performed with the intention of producing artificial changes in the composition, behavior, or dynamics of the atmosphere, unquote. And as of April this year, there are more than 150 different weather modification programs around the world. Since about 2000, the Department of Defense and the Department of Energy have been spraying the entire United States sky with a toxic brew of chemicals and other biologic agents. Just want to show you something. We have two different kinds of trails in the sky right now. One are called contrails. How many of you know what contrails are? Contrails are what have been around from the ends of planes since World War II. These are very, very short exhaust trails that usually evaporate within a few minutes. You just look up at the sky and you'll just see a jet, sometimes with 4 trails, but it evaporates pretty quickly.
It's just
How many
steam.
of you know what chemtrails are?
That one? You don't want to know. You don't want
Nobody.
that one.
The military and some commercial planes are spraying us with what are called chemtrails. I want you to look at and oftentimes before there's a weather front, there are heavy assaults from these planes just before a weather front is changed and comes in. Military and some commercial jets have been fitted with huge barrels of at least 49 different kinds of documented chemical poisons. Among other documented ingredients in this toxic man-made clouds are pathogenic molds, fungi, weaponized viruses, and made in some places like the secret site at Fort Detrick, Maryland, which is supposed to be a cancer site. but there are a number of scholars and professors tracking this that have big questions about this. Barium and nanoalumin particles. What do these do to the human body? Barium is an alkaline earth mineral. It was discovered in 1774. At low doses, it can act as a muscle stimulant. At high doses, it detrimentally affects the heart and the nervous system. Barium is toxic to all mammals, and that means not just humans. Aluminum, which is the most abundant metal in the Earth's crust, is known to diminish kidney function and destroy brain cells and cognitive function. Just think about it. Just between the aluminum and the mercury that we're breathing all the time, we've got already a serious issue about brain function and cognitive function. There is also documented evidence that the aluminum in chemtrails is released as nanoparticles, and that when they reach the Earth environment for wildlife, in lakes and streams, it's causing serious problems with wildlife there. Researchers are also finding that nanoparticles interfere with the growth of plants. Nanotechnology is totally unregulated. Just this past month, a new research report came out showing and documenting for the first time that these nanoparticles actually go through the skin. Well, if you breathe them, whether they go through the skin or whether you're inhaling them, it's still a problem, a serious problem.
This excerpt is brought to you by the Massachusetts School of Law.
Why is
That thing she was talking about, if y'all don't know what it is, go do some more research. I mean, I want to say more, but there's a new channel. I don't want to get, I don't want to cap myself in the knees before I can even grow. Because I'm doing this channel for these people. I'm going to be donating everything that I make from this channel to that cause.
no one talking about this Simpsons prediction?
What
Watch
if
this.
your wife finds out?
It's modern times. Everyone's doing it. Where did my Christian limo driver go?
That's crazy.
My pious husband is missing.
The baby I chose to have baptized is gone. Mr. Thompson, what's happening?
It's the rapture, Shauna. The rapture. The virtuous have gone to heaven, and the rest of us have been left below. We were fools. And because we rejected God, tacitly accepting Satan, we must suffer through the apocalypse.
I thought all religions were a path to God. I was wrong.
Why did I put my faith in science?
There is coming a day where Jesus will rapture everyone that's for Jesus. And if you choose Jesus, then I want you to follow or subscribe for more Jesus content like this.
Did you ever hear about the Grand Canyon theory?
No.
So the Grand Canyon, one of the world's wonders. There's a theory that the Grand Canyon holds something that none of us knew was there. So back in the 1850s, right? Yeah. The Grand Canyon was used to mine gold. When people started mining it, the gold index crashed because they found so much gold there. Okay. Now what happened was the government and the military, they closed it off and they made it a sanctuary so that nobody can just go there and then take whatever they want. There was this one guy, his name was Seth Tanner, and he was an explorer. He explored this one cave and he claims what he saw was ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics in one of the caves.
Oh, what did it say?
The Grand Canyon, it actually holds the lost city of El Dorado.
What?
Like, you know, the lost gold city of El Dorado.
Yeah, the whole city.
The whole city. So if you think about it, it's never found. That ancient tale that all of the natives talk about, the lost city, and the reason the government and the world is trying to keep it a secret is because it would crash the gold price.
That one there with the Grand Canyon, I 100% believe it. Like, why would NASA have ownership of the Grand Canyon? We all know what NASA means, right? No way. No way. There's so many of them.
Coach Q, they are all over the fucking place.
No way.
What the fuck?
No way.
Am I seeing shit?
Yeah, bro, we see it. That was mad.
Ain't no way everyone here is a real person. Life is a simulation and a legitimate professor has proved it. James Gates, a theoretical physicist at MIT with 2 bachelor degrees and a PhD, found literal computer code embedded in the most fundamental building blocks of reality called strings. Now, string theory is a tough one, but I'm gonna break it down for you in a way that an 11-year-old would understand. So if you don't get this, hey, go back to grade 5, bro. Alright, so we got my boy Einstein's theory of general relativity, which is basically just a theory of everything big. Planets, gravity, the universe, all the way back to the Big Bang. Then we got the new kid in town, quantum physics. This is the theory of everything small, like particles, atoms, and molecules, where the general laws of physics like gravity don't apply anymore. The same is true the other way around. Quantum laws don't apply to regular-sized physics. So we got general relativity, everything big, and quantum physics, everything small. Like, yo, dig. But both of these realms have the same parent, the Big Bang, at which point everything that is now big used to be small. If the small can become big, then quantum and general relativity need some sort of theory that can unify them. That is string theory. What happens to the big when it's small? What happens when you zoom into an atom? You see protons and neutrons in the center with electrons all around it. Now, what about inside a neutron? Even smaller particles called quarks. So how deep does the scale go? Conventional science will tell you there's nothing inside these quarks. But string theory suggests there's a tiny filament or a string of pure energy that exists inside of them. And just like the string of a guitar vibrates and creates different sound based on its shape and tension, the strings in string theory vibrate. But instead of sound, they produce matter in the form of particles. This completely changes the way you look at the world. Every particle in the universe is just a string vibrating at a different frequency, and every vibrational pattern has its own associated particle. So if you break anything down far enough, we're all just energy vibrating at differing wavelengths to form matter. Although it's still just a theory, this would link general relativity to the quantum realm and form what is known as the theory of everything. Okay, yeah, cool. Now where is this computer code found? When Dr. James Gates took a look at a set of equations derived from string theory, he found binary code. Error correcting code used for compressing data on a computer. A sequence of ones and zeros, the same code that is used by popular search engines, which, according to him, who has a PhD in theoretical physics from MIT, doesn't just resemble computer code, it literally is computer code. Meaning, if we break matter and energy down far enough, we eventually find compressing computer code etched into the very fabric of reality. So, who wrote this code? Are we living in, dare I say, a simulation?
Simpsons, they're always on it,
this
bro.
man, his name is Cody.
Always telling us something's gonna happen before it happens, bro.
And notice every single door in his hallway had a Chinese menu in the doorway. 3 days later, still there in every doorway. All of them. And he's like, what in the world? It's like 3 days, everyone in my hall has not opened their door. And then it was like 5 days, still there. And he's like, this is weird. So he went down to the parking garage and looked at the cars. And the majority of the cars in the parking garage were covered in dust. And he's like, that's weird. And then he's like, okay, this is like freaking me out a little bit. Went through his whole apartment building, couldn't find a fire alarm. Finally, like went down like one weird hallway or whatever, found one, pulls it. And supposedly there's supposed to be 800 people living in this apartment building. No one came out. He went out into his local little nook where his apartment was, and every like coffee shop and place that he went to, there was always one man in there.
My cat just went out of the window.
Talking on the phone. He said these men were all saying the same thing into the phone, and he's just like, "Am I living in a simulation? What is this?"
I'm thinking something sketchy's been going on in my apartment complex for some while now, because they say the building's full, but I never see anyone here. And now let's talk about Chinese menus. Watch the guy put these up. He did it on Friday. It's now Sunday. Are you really telling me people live here, but no one on my floor has come in or out of their building in 3 days? Like, what is going on here? Like, seriously, I'm being lied to. There's something's going on here. We're now on day 5 of Does Anybody Live in My Building? Menu, still there. Still there. And there. And you guessed it. Okay, so this one's gone, so that's an update. And this one's gone too. Still there.
Are they staging people having fake fun in their apartments?
I don't know you, and you probably don't know me, but yes, this is a thing that actually happens. I would know. I've been living in an abandoned apartment complex for the better part of the last 4 years. That's right, they say the property is fully 100% booked to capacity, but I am in fact the only person that resides there. Hey, it's me, that guy that lives in the abandoned apartment complex in Atlanta. I swear to God, I feel like I'm living in the Matrix. I walk by this guy in a suit and tie sitting at a table in front of Chipotle having a conversation. And then I walk by another guy sitting at a table in a suit and tie at McAllister's Deli, and he's having the exact same conversation. And then I look around, like this guy over here is having the same conversation, the same as that guy, the same as that guy, and that guy. And when I say they're everywhere, I mean they're like everywhere. Every single business in the shopping center has a young man in a suit and tie sitting there on a phone call, having the exact same phone call, giving the exact same presentation to someone at the exact same time. Wait. Is that another person? Come back. I have questions.
Come.
It's now day 6 on the gate, and I'm here checking the parking garage. I live on the first floor, so the only people that are supposed to park here are people that live on my floor. And like, there's more cars here than there are apartments. A closer inspection, some of these cars don't look like they've moved for a while. Okay, we're gonna check the other floors. It's again plenty of cars, but also
There's spider webs on the.
This one too.
Yo.
Like, we're on the 5th floor now. It's getting a little bit empty. I mean, it is 12 o'clock on a Wednesday, but I mean, for the amount of people that are supposed to live here, there should be more cars. Also, for the amount of people that aren't here, there should be fewer cars. I'm on the top floor, and there's like not a single car up here, and that might not seem unusual for most people, but like, I live in Atlanta, like the heart of Midtown. You know how rare it is to find like empty parking spaces in a building? And yes, there are still plenty of menus. Menu gate update. Somebody said pull the firearm and let's see who lives here. Well, let's go check out front. Damn it, all these doors. Like, okay, we're serious, right? Okay, we've made it outside out front, and where is all of the people?
Yo.
There should be. You're telling me this building is completely full, but no one's leaving during the fire? I guess I'll just sit here and see what happens. Maybe the fire department will show up. Ooh, maybe there'll be a cute fireman. Is this my meet cute? Gate part 14, I think my new neighbor is fake. It's 8:31 on the 22nd, and there is all of this shit in the hallway. It is now 7:18 on the 23rd, and it's still there. Why is this stuff still here? And it's been 3 days and the furniture's still in the hallway. Yeah, it's been 3 days and the furniture is still in the hall. Who just leaves their furniture in the hallway? I think they're just trying to stage somebody moving in to make me feel better. Because it's the one right across from my unit. They're on to me.
The Earth.
Yo, if I was the only person that lived in that apartment complex. Man, I would have solo parties on the roof. I would get access to the roof. I'll do barbecues on the roof, bruv. Since nobody's living in that building, I'll go for the room closest to the roof, bruv. Make my way in there. Move in there, bruv. Since nobody's coming. Some people can't enjoy peace and quiet, bruv. It's like you want people to be there. Come on, bro.
Is actually bigger than we think, and Antarctica is the wall, and beyond that there's other continents and different countries and possibly aliens and shit and higher tech that we don't know about that might be controlling us.
Oh, that's possible because like, taking like we discovered every place but like Antarctica.
But Antarctica,
like, that's the only place that we don't really like know too much about.
And I believe there's a map like long time ago that had every single thing in the current map that we use. The current like geological map they use, there was a map that they showed that Antarctica, there was another island there, and they actually had a name for it and shit, and it was actually green. But obviously we know Antarctica is full of like ice and shit.
Yeah.
But we also know there was a what? An ice age. Yeah. Feel me? So Antarctica is probably just another island that just covered over.
Yeah, Josh's prediction on what happened with Antarctica was actually real.
A lot the people been tagging me on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Your shit, the war between the USA and America. That shit.
The war between USA and America.
Antarctica. It's official. There's nothing down there. You can clearly see this water is empty and hence the rest of the continent must be as well. Like, is that Nah. There's no way. It's definitely just a case of pareidolia. You know, the human tendency to see faces in everyday things. Despite dozens of retired Navy officers who were stationed in Antarctica coming out and exposing what they really saw down there. Because of course, who could forget about this pyramid-shaped mound under the snow cut with incredible precision and perfectly aligned with northeast-southwest. But oh, it's just a mountain for sure. There's a lot more like this, so I guess it's just a common natural rock formation down there. Even aerial shots irrefutably prove they're just normal mountain ranges. How dare we even suggest that there might be something more going on in Antarctica? Here we have a satellite photo of some sort of disk that appears to have crashed and 4 other large objects surrounding it. Some claim it's a UFO crash site surrounded by some sort of surveillance units, but it's clearly just a, a near perfect triangle, also with a crash landed appearance with an oddly familiar shape. Nah, there's no way. Yet another disc shape up in the Antarctic mountains, and yeah, rocks, definitely, 100%. Interesting that the 1946 Operation High Jump in Antarctica was rumored to have ended early due to flying disc-shaped crafts scaring the Navy out of the area. 14 years later, the Antarctic Treaty is signed, heavily restricting exploration of the continent. This strange, long shape under the snow, another seemingly crash-landy looking site in an oddly similar shape as Oumuamua, a rumored derelict spacecraft that passed through our solar system in 2017 and was later dismissed as just being an asteroid, despite it having almost no characteristics of an asteroid, but I'll cover that another time. To be fair, this one may have just been a boulder that rolled down a nearby cliff. Hey, we just debunked that bit. But some of these other satellite finds are a little less explainable. Like, why are there over 60 monolithic objects lined up deep in the snow in a place that has allegedly never hosted intelligent life? Even more structures in the snow up to 70 feet tall that almost resemble buildings of sorts. And another, even more interesting, triangular shaped structure nearby with a similar height. And of course, the holes. Oh, the holes. Reports of holes everywhere across the South Pole. Like in 2007, Google Earth revealed a 250-foot wide hole with what looks like stairs leading into it. A few months later, it disappears from satellite view. Then in 2019, it reappears but looks totally botched and in lower quality than the image from 10 years ago. But my friends, as we know, that's barely even the tip of the tip. There have been just countless reports of holes in Antarctica heading deep beneath the surface. There's the story in Richard Byrd's diary of the glimmering underground city city he flew into in 1946 that I covered in a previous video. Then a retired Navy SEAL who goes by the name Brian spoke out about a mission he went on in Antarctica in the 1980s. While flying over a no-fly zone, he saw a 300-foot wide hole in the ice with tracks around the area leading into the hole. When he got back to his station, an officer and two men in suits interrogated him about the no-fly zone violation. The men in suits tell him to never talk about that hole again and to never go back. A few months later, he's told to fly scientists to the Dome, which was a known research station back then. There, he overheard people talking about the hole, saying they're going there to meet visitors.
It seemed to me they were talking about like an extraterrestrial or an alien, because they didn't refer to them as a person, it was a visitor.
The rumors claimed these holes were entrances to underground bases where humans and these visitors cooperated on highly classified projects. Then more testimonies started rolling in. In 1985, another medevac flight over the no-fly zone saw a giant hole as wide as a football field. Men in black suits later came to tell them they never saw it. 1990s, Navy flight crews reported silver discs zipping over the Antarctic mountains at impossible speeds all the time, told to never speak of it. In 2002, a film crew called Atlantis TV flies down to the South Pole to shoot a documentary about these holes. They allegedly film actual footage of a massive ancient city buried beneath the ice of Antarctica. Sound familiar? Then they went missing, of course. Navy rescuers found their camping equipment and even recovered their tapes. They played them to a few scientists and, according to rumors, showed spectacular ruins of a lost civilization and were told to never speak of it, including an ancient pyramid temple complex 2 miles beneath the ice with caverns bigger than Bermuda. The US military confiscated the tapes, Atlantis TV sued them, lost, and then went out of business. Then this happens. A Navy commander codenamed Spartan 1 who was stationed in Antarctica exposes all of his classified reports in an interview. In 2003, while flying on an extraction mission, his Navy SEAL team notices the top of a structure in the shape of a tall black octagon in the snow below. They land, walk up to it, and come up to a door over 20 feet high with strange markings of what looks like a star map and other strange glyphs. The star map looks like a pulsar map, a mapping technique used by NASA that shows the location of a sun relative to known pulsars. The Navy team enters the building and it's huge, a room about 10 acres across, which is like 7 football fields. The walls were all illuminated with a soft green glow, but no visible light source. And also on the walls were more carvings, similar to Egyptian or Mayan hieroglyphs, but also way different. There was a ramp inside that led deep beneath the ground where the rooms got even bigger. According to scientists that explored these sites, these lower levels were occupied by humanoids. Humanoid beings, far superior in strength and knowledge, and are the ones who actually created humans. Anunnaki, anyone? At least that's what Spartan 2, another US Marine whistleblower, claims, adding, and I quote, "Antarctica contains wonders beyond what most can comprehend. It has ties to space and technology beyond belief." There are even reports like this one that giant alien bodies have been spotted beside entrances to caverns. This whole story is part of Spartan 1 and 2's confession tapes, which, yes, sure, they might be making it up, but they sure ain't the only ones. Contractors like Eric Heckler have also exposed insane technology they're experimenting with down there, and that's another topic that'll blow your load. But you can actually fly to Antarctica if you wanted to, so why doesn't anyone just do that and examine these sites firsthand? Well, the area designated for tourist travel down there is limited, like extremely limited. Going there and declaring Antarctica a barren wasteland with nothing to see would be like going to Las Vegas and claiming all of America is just a giant desert. And remember, just a theory, but I'm sure Google will tell you all about how all of this is 100% confirmed fake and we should mindlessly shame anyone who dares question it.
Yeah, that one was a bit...
I want you to think about this. Something with the capabilities of traveling light years, not showing a heat signature, and the energy capabilities of that would put the Pentagon out of business. We wouldn't be fighting these worthless wars overseas over oil, and American boys and girls wouldn't be dying. It would put the war pigs out of business, and they'd have to go somewhere else, and I'm all for that. I'm all for that. I think what's going to happen now, the floodgates, other people are going to say, you know, I've got some information I'd like to come swear in. I've seen enough, and I would hope that you all would get that opportunity to see what we've seen.
He sounds like he's had enough.
Had the opportunity over the years to interview, again, people who have worked at the test site at Groom Lake. One gentleman spent 12 of his 30 years in black programs at Groom Lake. When I asked him, I said, first of all, I said, do you believe in UFOs? And he looked at me with a straight face in one-on-one. He said, absolutely, positively, they do exist. I said, can you expand upon that? He said, no, I can't. About a year later, we were talking about, again, activities at Groom Lake. And I asked him, I said, you know, can you really tell me what's happening out there? And he said, well, there's a lot of things that are going on there that I won't be able to tell you until 2025. But we have things in the Nevada desert that would make George Lucas envy.
Yo, check this out. So, a YouTuber just found the devil in Alaska. What? The footage at the end is the scariest thing I've ever seen, fam. It's crazy. It's crazy. Luke Nichols, a popular YouTuber from the United States, has just encountered Satan himself in the mountains of Alaska. This is the reason nobody wants to visit Alaska, bro. This is terrifying. So Luke, known for his love for the outdoors, a veteran for outdoor extreme camping and survival, getting the nickname Luke the Nuke Nichols. He had been exploring the Alaskan mountains nearby the Noam territory. The fierce weather conditions made his trip more difficult. He was out on his snowmobile on his way to catch some fish with his son when suddenly they came across a random hole in the ground. They were terrified. They immediately turned back but heard a voice calling out. He turned around, and within the darkness of the night, he saw horns, then flames, and realized he was staring into the eyes of the devil. He took out his phone to video it. To see the video, comment "Outdoor Boys," and we will send it via DM.
I'm sorry, man. I thought I was gonna see something too, bruv. Clearly, they pulled a fast one on us. Fucking dickheads. Anyway, if you made it to the end, thank you for being here with me. Yeah. Take care.